There's a live dashboard.
Ooh, they've changed that to stream is starting. Interesting. Oh, love you,
We
dude.
are apparently live.
Yay! We are live. We are live. We are live.
All right. Let's put this window over here. Put that on pause. And that window over there. Okay. You go do your recap thing.
Okay, it's been quite a while. But
just so you know, not my fault.
Not really anyone's fault, really. I mean, I would have done one last week if I wasn't sick. But oh well. So last time, Midnight, Night, and Night went up against Berta and tried to get a hat from her, which was miserable. And then they had marshmallows around a campfire. Night read a book all about how to fight while Lupina pet her. Midnight also interacted with all her pups except, of course, Rosalia, and found out they all have learnt from Berta already. They all know how to fight, which is a bit annoying to Midnight, because Midnight's like, why didn't you tell me? I wouldn't have been that much against it. Come on. And then... Oh, and she learnt about the Midnight Council, which is basically loads of Midnights from loads of different dimensions that have come together. Which son discovered that? Which son discovered that? I know it was one of the sons. Or maybe it wasn't one of the sons.
Ramo
discovered it, yes. And then Midnight and Night and Chase, who jumped back from Lithium's world, went and had a bath. And Midnight probably disgusted a lot of Lupina Carni, because she hadn't had a bath in quite a while. And yeah, I think that's where we left it.
Yeah. While you and Night were being washed, and one of the servants was actually Ivory Mist, disguising himself.
Which is also annoying.
Hey, you got washed by your son.
That's just creepy.
You're adorable. Well, since that is where we left off, let me set the stage.
Okay.
You, Knight, and Chase are still in the Lupine Arcanae Kingdom for training. Well, Chase just basically tags along. You and Knight have been assigned a room.
Okay.
So you are roommates.
That's fun.
The room is very sparsely decorated. You basically only each one of you has a bed and a small wardrobe. And there is a chest at the foot end of each bed.
Okay.
And you have a single window.
Fun. So basically barracks.
Basically.
Okay.
Chase is, right now, out and about exploring.
Is that really a good idea?
Would it keep him from exploring?
Well, I would have probably wanted someone to go with him, or know that Lupina has ordered that no harm shall come to him.
Let's just assume the latter.
Okay. Fine. But if he gets eaten...
Then I assume one Lupine Arcanae will have a very bad day.
No, not at all.
So, you are both laying on your respective beds. Knight finishing off the last few pages of the battle manual that Lupina gave her. And you just lazily looking out of the window.
Yeah. Okay.
The view that you have is not too great. You see a few bushes, and beyond that, the wall of the castle. So you're literally looking at a brick wall.
Fun!
And now it knocks on the door of your little abode. By the way, both of you are wearing military coveralls.
Okay. Midnight jumps up and goes and opens the door.
No reaction from Knight?
Nah.
In front of the door stands a wolf that is slightly taller than you. But quite obviously, he's not standing at his full height. Like you see that he has his back arched a little bit, and he seems to be quite old. Like the tips of his fur are turning grey. He wears glasses. The top of his head is almost bald. A chunk has been taken out of his left ear sometime during his life. And he is wearing a white lab coat.
Midnight blinks a little, taking it all, the look of this strange wolf all in. Yes? May we help you?
If you are Miss Midnight and Miss Night.
Night looks up at that, hearing her name. Yeah, that's us.
Well, I am with the Scientific Council of this country, and as I understand it, you two play a vital role in the coming war.
Night gets up, slightly smirking. Well, one of us does, certainly. Midnight just rolls her eyes.
And the old wolf then looks at Night and says,
You must be Miss Midnight, then.
Did you say something, love? Because I didn't hear it.
Yes, I said something.
Sorry.
I said, the wolf then looks at Night and says,
You must be Miss Midnight, then.
At which point Midnight shakes her head and says, No, that's Night. She's just a bit cocky.
At which this old wolf wiggles his eyebrows at her and says,
Oh, well, I'm sure she is.
Night face pause. Anyway, what do you want with Midnight?
With both of you, to be precise.
Okay, what do you want?
And he bows to both of you individually.
Night soaks it up. Midnight, slightly uncomfortable.
And then he says,
As you two might be aware, the Queen has recovered some vital blueprints from your excursion into that alternate dimension.
Yeah, and she's been using it to advance your science, to make spaceships, and I'm guessing other things as well.
Well, to be precise, we had theories about space travel for ages, but the documents she provided actually made it possible for us to narrow the problems down and solve them.
Huh. That makes sense.
So, application of such theories as artificial gravity and hydroponics and stuff like this can not only be used to create spaceships, as you might imagine.
What are you getting at?
he looks at Night, winking.
Well, isn't it obvious? We applied what we learned and we built a space station.
Wow, impressive. That quickly?
He takes one of his paws, looks at his claws, and does as if he's like cleaning them on his chest piece of his lab coat. And says,
Well, we are very efficient.
That I have no doubt. Still impressive. But I don't see what that has to do with us.
The council thought it would be a good idea to give you a tour of the place.
Midnight and Night look at each other, slightly surprised, and then back at the wolf. Us? To be honest,
Yes.
I kind of thought the council didn't really care about me.
he mutters something under his breath that you can't quite understand.
What was that?
Nothing. However, I was chosen to escort you to the station.
Fair enough. Have you cleared this at Lupina?
He waves a paw at you.
It'll be all right, don't worry.
Midnight looks at Night a little bit like, something smells fishy. But Night just rolls her eyes and goes, lead the way.
Certainly.
And he turns around and starts moving down the corridor.
Shouldn't we tell Lupina about this? Why? 'Cause clearly they know best, and besides, aren't you glad to be treated as important? I'm still sending a note. Midnight waves a paw and a note flies off towards wherever Lupina is, and then they follow.
And as you catch up to the old wolf, who is moving relatively slow, you can almost hear his joints crack as he moves. He explains to you that the station has been built geostationary and is floating directly over the kingdom and about 10 kilometers outside Aquis's atmosphere.
Impressive.
He also explains to you that having that station makes it actually much easier for them building spaceships, because they do not have to worry about the size and weight of parts.
Though wouldn't it cost more to send the parts up?
Actually, we can just send some materials up there and manufacture them on site.
Huh. Fair enough. Very impressive.
Thank you, miss.
I'm amazed the ponies never got that far, considering you guys are pretty impressive.
And he looks at you over his shoulder.
I am certain that the ponies would be as far as we are, but there are certain elements within the government preventing them to do so.
Why do I feel like you're hinting at Celestia?
Because I am.
Seriously, one of these days. One of these days.
And he goes on a little rant as he goes left at a fork.
Night follow.
Well, I remember back in the day when I was still young, there was this very, very impressive earth pony. And very tasty, to be precise. He actually invented something that came close to our gunpowder, but almost 5 times as effective.
Wow. And the ponies never, ever used it?
It was deemed too dangerous after, through, I might add, the mistake of a lab technician, the whole facility blew up.
Huh.
But if they had simply implemented more safeguards, they would have had something very useful at their hands.
You know they would have used that against you, right?
He looks at you over his shoulder again.
We actually have the formula in our repository by now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Espionage isn't as hard as you might think.
To be honest, the ponies are very, very trusting in many aspects. So sneaking things, getting information, it's not exactly that difficult. Honestly, how they haven't been taken over by some people is quite impressive. If it wasn't for their magic, they would have
Scratch
died.
that, if it wasn't for Celestia and Luna.
Yeah. And the new Princess of Friendship, too.
I'd use her as a toothpick if I wanted to.
You know she's the element of magic, right? I know pony magic is nowhere near as powerful as Lupin and Karnai, but still.
He points, like he gets something out of his collar, like out of his lab coat, and shows you a necklace that he's wearing. It's just a simple chain on which there is a silver ring.
Huh? What's that?
Put this on a pony's horn, and bye-bye magic.
You have magic inhibitors?
Of course.
I couldn't borrow a couple, could I?
He takes off the chain and hands it to you.
I have like a whole crate of those.
Thank you, dearie. Night puts it on with Midnight glaring at her. You're not keeping that. Oh, shush.
As you go around another turn in the corridor, you emerge onto what looks like a hastily constructed landing pad. You can actually still see some of the power tools laying around that were used to build it.
Has this been tested yet?
Certainly.
Good. Sorry, but it just looks like it's just been built. And... You yourself have said things can... It takes one mistake and things blow up.
If you handle explosive materials, that is. Or dangerous magic.
Or both.
Oh, believe me, that can be fun.
Knight
and-
grins at that as well.
And he points off in the distance at a mountaintop that is no mountaintop anymore, but just a series of craters.
Oh, wow. You guys have been busy.
That was me.
Wait, what?
And he nods at you and just grins.
How did you do that?
I wanted to see what happens if I combine a conventional black powder bomb with an arcane magical storage device.
And boom was the answer?
The answer was that the magic in the storage device apparently multiplied the bomb and grew it by 75%.
Okay then.
And then boom.
Fair enough. Yeah, I have a feeling one of my daughters would love your experiments.
He looks at the watch on his paw.
Should be here any second. And if you're referring to Pixie Cotton,
Yes?
she is actually a regular at my lab.
She gets about.
Oh, you have no idea.
Are you the one that gave her the nuclear stuff?
What exactly do you mean? She got quite a few things from my lab. I don't actually keep track of my stores that much.
I think it was a nuclear bomb?
He gets out a little notebook.
Well, yes, that has been reported missing.
She stole it!
Looks like it.
I'll have her replace anything she's stolen.
You sure?
What do you mean?
He grabs into a pocket of his coat and hands you a scroll.
She's stolen a lot more than just a few things, hasn't she?
Well, you want to have a look at the list or not?
Takes a look.
As you unroll the scroll, it keeps going and going and going and going until the end of it, which is not completely unrolled yet, hits the palace wall.
That's a lot. You really need to keep better track of your daughter. Midnight glares at Night. It's not my fault that she's sneaky. Actually, no, it is my fault. She gets that from my side of the family. I'll have a chat with her. I'll just say that. Waves a paw and makes the scroll roll up itself and hands it back.
Well, actually, it doesn't really matter. Most of the stuff that she's taken was from our archives and has been outdated anyway.
Oh. Okay, noted. Still, she shouldn't be taking anything without asking.
There's only one thing that I was actually planning to ask her to give back, because that's a relatively dangerous thing.
What's that?
And he unrolls the scroll to a certain paragraph and shows it to you.
Love, could you repeat again?
He unrolls the scroll to a certain part and shows it to you.
Looks at it.
What you read is Cthulhu summoning ritual marker.
She's not trying to summon Cthulhu. Not again.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Ugh, she's been hanging out with Thingy too much. And yes, his name's gone out of my head. Shush. Nightfall. He's been hanging out with Nightfall too much.
And as you are talking, he looks at his watch again and suddenly starts counting.
3, 2, 1.
And a thing that is shaped like a ice cream cone upside down impacts on the landing pad so hard that all three of you are thrown into the air for 5 feet.
Both me and Night land on our feet, though stumbled slightly. What the hell is that thing?
The scientist lands graciously on his feet, even though he immediately bends down again and mumbles something about arthritis.
That, ladies, is a landing pod.
Okay, then. I think you guys still need to work on the landing point.
You are, for some reason, not the first person to tell me that today.
Night smirks. Well, it's a little bit, rough on the landing. If Midnight's told me anything about the other world, their stuff was very smooth.
As if to accentuate what Knight is saying, the door to the landing pad opens and a female wolf comes tumbling out, very unsteady on her feet.
Knight just sniggers. Midnight quickly says, "You alright?"
"I will be, ma'am. I will..." And she keels over.
Don't worry, she'll be fine.
Midnight frowns slightly. "You sure? Because I'm pretty sure she just knocked herself out."
Yes, she did. Quite normal.
Yeah, you know, the more concussions you have, the worse it'll be.
I know.
Okay. But you're expecting us to get in that thing and have her fly us up to the thing?
No, actually, I will fly.
Oh. Okay.
Don't worry, she'll wake up in about 5 minutes.
And he goes to the landing pod.
Midnight hesitantly follows, with Night whispering to her, "Yeah, if we die, please get me from the other world, from Lithium's place. Pretty please." Before they both climb in.
In the inside, you see a row of, 3 rows of seats with 2 seats each. And 1 seat in front of a, something that looks like a steering wheel and a few buttons.
Midnight and Night climb into the behind the old wolf into the first row and
Also telling you those rows are vertical.
Yeah, they're pointing to the side, up the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I said climb. Climbs into those seats. And quickly puts on whatever seatbelts are there.
He looks over his shoulder approvingly.
I was about to say, ladies, put on your seatbelts, but I see you've already taken care of that.
Well, safety comes first.
He presses one of the 4 buttons on the control panel. And with a loud clang, the access hatch just shuts.
Yeah, I'm regretting this already. Why am I here?
The next press of a button and the whole thing starts to rumble and you hear something that sounds like a jet engine from right under your butts.
Midnight covers her ears a bit. Night does the same, but they look at each other terrified.
And the old wolf looks back over his shoulder at both of you, grinning like a maniac. His paw hovering over the 3rd button in a row. And then he shouts, "Geronimo!" and hits his paw on the 3rd button.
You're not the doctor!
And you two feel as if you suddenly both weigh several tons as you are pressed into your seats as the thing lifts off.
Yeah, we grip the seats for dear life.
Quite literally.
Yes. AJ!
And then you suddenly feel as if you are weightless and already half think that you might be in space. But through the window in front, you can see the ground coming closer.
Dude. We're meant to be going up, not down.
Come on, what's the fun without a few loop-de-loops?
And he does a few loop-de-loops while you two are in your seats, and he's having the time of his life, apparently.
Midnight shuts her eyes, while Night struggles to not throw up.
And then, suddenly, it is all over, and you two float, only held by your seatbelts 1 inch above your seats.
Midnight opens her eyes slightly and looks out the window, if there is one.
In the front.
Looks out the front of the window.
You see stars.
So, we made it?
No doubt about it.
Do you have a puke bucket?
He turns around and raises an eyebrow.
I suggest you don't puke in space. It gets kinda messy.
I don't think I'll have much of a choice.
He grabs into one of his pockets and wraps a plastic bag over Knight's head.
First off, well, how is that going to hold puke? Second off, he's gonna kill Knight.
No, it's not so that she can't breathe. It's just over her head so that when she pukes, it doesn't float around the cabin.
Fair enough. Knight pukes into the bag.
And since it is over her head, quite a bit of it gets into her fur.
Yeah. Oh, why can't there just have been a bucket?
Because it's space, my dear.
You said something about anti-gravity. Or gravity thingy.
Wrong ship. This is just a landing pod.
Midnight can't help but slightly chuckle.
And then you see how he is turning the wheel to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear gas escaping on the right side of the landing pod.
You're using gas?
Easiest way for maneuver thrusters.
Fair enough. Midnight also waves a paw, making the sick and the bag disappear. As well as the sick on Night's fur. So she looks clean again. Thank you. You're welcome. Besides, we want to make a good impression. No sense you turning up covered in sick.
And into view through the front window comes a giant structure. It is pear-shaped, with the fat part of the pear being up.
Hmm.
And you see dozens upon dozens and dozens of small shipyards.
Midnight and Night sort of look at it in awe.
Hello?
Hello?
Didn't you hear that I was still explaining stuff?
No.
There are dozens upon dozens and dozens of shipyards, small shipyards, around the structure where you can see welding crews working on ships.
Mm.
No, I'm done.
Midnight and Night look at it in awe, quite impressed. So, why that shape?
It was the most convenient.
Fair enough.
And easiest to build.
Yeah, round objects usually are difficult to build.
Yep.
Hmm.
And a square would have meant a problem if this thing ever fell out of orbit.
In what way?
More resistance from the atmosphere.
So?
It would have burnt up. With this shape, there's at least a chance that part of the station does not melt.
Oh, gotcha. So there might, if it does ever fall, there might be survivors. Well,
Exactly.
actually. Fair enough. So where is the safest spot then?
On top.
Fair enough.
And he flies past the shipyards, and at one shipyard he halts the pod for a moment, flying sideways along it so you can see what is being built. From what you can see, it is also the biggest of the shipyards.
Some of these ships look very, very cool. And kind of similar to the ones I've seen. I wonder if Lupin is going to maybe build ones that were specialized.
The one that he's showing you right now is very big. It is kind of cigar-shaped, from what you can make out from the structure that is already done, which is mostly just its inner skeleton and a few hull plates. And easily the size of 10 of the other ships that you have seen so far. And then he turns the pod around again towards the space station and approaches the hangar. No comment or anything?
Midnight's just looking in awe and is impressed. Night's just trying to make sure she doesn't accidentally puke again. Night does not do well in space.
So, the scientist lands the landing pod very gently in the hangar.
Huh. Is this easier to land in space than it is on Equus?
Very much so, yes. Because once the ship approaches the hangar here, the artificial gravity in the hangar will be deactivated.
Gotcha.
Only when we are landed, the gravity gets turned back on.
Gotcha.
And you suddenly feel yourself with all your weight again as you plump back into your seats.
Why do I suddenly feel a lot heavier than I did on Earth? On Equus.
A few minutes in zero gravity will do that.
And the whole flight has taken you about 10 minutes.
Midnight unbuckles herself. Night does as well.
And so does the scientist. And he kind of jumps over the two of you to get to the door.
Midnight is impressed by how well he can move, and carefully jumps down.
He presses a button next to the door, which then opens very slowly. Almost painstakingly slow.
Night is struggling to get down, because she's still feeling, queasy.
The scientist looks up at her and grabs her in his magic.
Hey!
What?
I don't like being grabbed. But thank you.
And he sets her down, close to himself, and smiles down at her.
Night is starting to get creeped off by this guy.
Why?
I don't know. Just something seems slightly creepy about him. He seems to be taking far too much of an interest in Night.
The door finally opens, and you see that there are 5 other wolves already waiting outside for you. All of them wearing lab coats. 2 females, 3 males, and the youngest seems to be around her 20s, while the oldest is definitely the guy standing next to Night.
Midnight and Night take a step out, start walking out. Hi. Thank you for having me.
One of the females raises an eyebrow at you, then looks at Night, and kind of tilts her head.
What?
And she looks up at the old wolf, who suddenly makes a few barking and growling noises that you do recognize as wolfish, but you do not understand what he is saying.
Care to translate?
Oh! I'm sorry. Not all of my team can understand modern wolfish.
Ah. Oops.
It is not our, what was the word? Native tongue.
That's understandable, actually. You guys were gone for so long, and language changes over time. Sorry, I don't know ancient wolfish.
And that female scientist, the youngest of the group actually, then barks and howls something back at him. To which he chuckles.
Night raises an eyebrow. Care to, bring us in on the joke?
Don't worry. It's not important.
Midnight and Night look at each other, slightly confused. Okay?
He kind of gives both of you a pat on your backside to make you walk down the gangway.
Night glares at him for doing that. You could just say what? This way.
He chuckles.
Night, behave. Fine.
One of the middle-aged male wolves approaches the both of you. And he is actually the only one wearing a tie. He's also a little bit taller than the two of you.
Why is every wolf taller than us?
But he is very, very skinny.
Okay.
And then he starts to speak. Welcome to Space Station, the two of you.
Thank you.
And he bows and says, welcome.
Thank you. Midnight nods and slightly embarrassed. So, what would you like to show me?
And the maybe fattest wolf you have ever seen.
Okay.
Steps forward, and for a moment you have a little bit of trouble to decide if it's female or male.
Hello. Greetings.
Follow.
Okay.
And the wolf waddles ahead.
Midnight and Night follow. Well, at least it means I can't be understood here. I could say whatever I like. Night. What?
And from right behind Night, you hear the chuckle of the old wolf that picked you up.
Midnight rolls her eyes and ignores them both. And just follows.
This wolf leads you to a round door that opens automatically as it approaches.
Automated doors. Nice.
Behind is an elevator. And the wolf that has been leading you there is growling at the console.
I'm gonna have to get Lupina to give me a crash course in ancient wolfish, aren't I? You and me both.
The wolf behind you says,
No, she's actually not trying to talk to it. She's actually just angry.
Oh, why? What's wrong?
He points at the symbols displayed on the little display next to the console. You cannot read them, but they are in red.
Ah. Red means something's gone wrong.
And the guy behind you chuckles again, and then leans down so that his muzzle is right between you and Knight's head, and very, very quietly whispers,
It reads, weight limit exceeded.
Night and Midnight can't help but chuckle.
To which that rather obese wolf turns around to the two of you and just growls.
Midnight and Night say nothing.
And
act like they don't understand.
And the wolf that talked to you earlier, the youngest of the group, hops forward and, chuckling, says something in ancient wolfish that the old wolf translates for you as meaning, well, I guess you've got to take the stairs.
Midnight actually raises an eyebrow slightly. Huh, you guys actually put stairs in?
Of course we did. Otherwise, there would be no way we would be able to have her employed up here.
Point, but still. If you can make super fast elevators. I don't know. I didn't see any stairs whenever on the other place, so I just assumed there wouldn't be any. But fair enough.
They didn't need any. They had anti-grav shafts.
Point.
But we haven't figured that out completely yet. The last test subject that we put into our test chamber, well, let's just say he didn't fare too well with 5,000 times the normal gravity.
Ooh. Ouch. Bear in mind when looking at those things that they had been in space for centuries, so their own biology and body might have changed. I'm pretty sure space changes how a body reacts to things as well.
Oh, we already know that much. We have developed quite a few training programs to counteract the negative effects of long-term space habitation.
Fair enough.
The fat wolf very grudgingly shoves you and Knight aside as she's waddling out of the elevator.
I feel slightly bad for her.
And the young scientist looks at you, tilts her head, and just falls over laughing.
Midnight frowns and looks at the old wolf. Why is she laughing?
She very likely misunderstood something you said.
What did she think I said?
And he barks a little bit at her, and she then barks back after she has stopped laughing. And then he turns to you with a grin, and he says,
She understood that you said, well, at least I'm not as bad as her.
What? Midnight looks down at herself and around. I'm not... Meh. Not what I meant at all. Knight just grins. Nah. Well, you have gained a little weight since you've had the pups. Shush.
I will be right back, everyone. I have to answer nature's call.
Actually, so do I.
So we have a little bit of an
interlude.
We will both be right back, and I hope that you enjoy it so far.
I'm having fun. Alright, bye-bye. Yeah. As always, I think I am first back. Yay! Alrighty, let's see. You don't have to be a Patreon to join. We have, if you join the Discord chat, you can ask to be a part of it. Visual is the one who works things out, and since the whole war things will be introducing us to other characters, you should be able to jump in then. No promises though, because it has to work with the story, and but jump into the Discord. We have a lot of fun there, chatting about everything from everything. So please come on ahead, and who knows? We do hope to add more people in. It's just it's kind of difficult, and we just have a system. So you don't have to be a Patreon to join, but you can join the Discord, and who knows? Ask, send us one of your characters, and then we'll see if it can work. If it can't, it can't. If it can, it can. It really just depends. There are some characters we don't use all the time, so who knows? You're not allowed to raid our beer pantry, AJ. We don't have a beer pantry. We don't have one, okay? Well, like I say, join the Discord, see what happens, and ask Visual. I defer to Visual quite a bit. And he might be able to fit in a way that can work. The problem is we don't have a set time schedule either. It really just depends on what time we have. Like today we have time, but that doesn't always happen. So with it being so informal, it's a little difficult. No summoning Cthulhu.
I'm back.
Hey, AJ's threatening to summon Cthulhu and steal all our beer from the beer pantry.
We don't have a beer pantry.
That's what I told him.
That's still Scripts. No. Morpheus' P collection.
Okay.
So, you are still in the elevator.
Okay.
And one of the remaining 5 scientists presses a button on the console. And you feel the elevator to start moving.
Feels slightly strange because Still is not used to elevators.
And as it is moving, the walls of the elevator actually turn transparent.
Looks around. Ooh.
And you see floor after floor of the facility rushing by.
Impressive.
Well, thank you.
So what do you do up here other than build ships?
We are about to show you.
Okay then.
For example, we perform some research up here that would be too dangerous to do on the surface.
Okay, like things that would blow up the entire planet?
One of the scientists shuffles uncomfortably.
Okay, you can't pretend that you don't understand me. I know you understood that much. What are you doing up here?
That particular scientist, a very young male, so not the youngest of the group, obviously, steps forward, looking at you, adjusting the glasses on his muzzle, and says, I do understand, but not so good.
Okay, understood.
And your question. And he gets out a little hexagon-shaped object and taps it, making a hologram appear above it that shows the solar system.
Wow, impressive.
Imagine if this enemy and he presses another button, and you see a little projectile flying towards the sun of that solar system. As it impacts the sun suddenly starts to expand and swallows up each and every planet.
Midnight's jaw drops. Night is grinning like an idiot looking at it. So you're developing weapons of mass destruction.
And he just nods and kind of has a relieved expression on his face, since Night understands what he's doing.
Don't ever let Pixie see this. Wait, she helped develop it, didn't she?
The caption over the whole thing reads, "The Pixie Needle."
She did. Well, at least she's putting her mind to work. I don't know. At least she's not actually destroying the universe.
You should see Pixie Needle, Pixie Spear better.
There's a spear?
He chuckles, showing another, tapping the little device again, showing a hologram of an entire galaxy.
Oh no.
He taps it again, and a little black dot appears in the middle of that galaxy.
Is that a black hole?
From one moment to another, the dot expands, then retracts again, and all that's left is rubble.
I understand why she likes it here. Now this is cool. Can I come here more often?
You'd be welcome to.
Thank you.
And the elevator stops and the doors open.
Takes a step out and looks around.
You find yourself being observed by about 24 wolves wearing protective goggles and handling pitchers with bubbling fluids.
Oh, wow. Midnight's a little uncomfortable with all the eyes looking at her. Night, on the other hand, is soaking up all the attention.
It only lasts a second before they turn their attention back to their flasks and potions again.
Night pouts slightly.
This, ladies, is where we develop magical potions.
Nice. What type of potions?
Glad you asked.
At one wall you see a cabinet with different colored bottles in it.
Mm.
Or bottles with different colored liquids.
Mm.
And the wolf goes over to it and takes one that is green.
Mm.
this one, for example.
And he takes out the stopper. And a foul odor starts immediately filling the room.
Midnight covers her nose, as does Night. What is that?
Just wait a second.
And he chucks it down.
Night grimaces.
He does a... like, it doesn't taste very well either. And suddenly turns into a changeling.
Midnight's jaw drops. What the? You can change into changelings? Wait.
Transformative potion. Works very well.
Wow. How do you change back? Does it wear off?
It wears off after 2 weeks, actually, but we did make an antidote.
And he takes a purple potion out of the thing, takes a sip, and turns back to his normal form.
Huh. Well, good to have in case. Because I'm guessing after 2 weeks of being a changeling, that would not be fun.
Actually, it is a very interesting experience feeding off love and stuff.
Oh, so you become complete changeling?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. So you could infiltrate the infiltrators.
That was the idea behind it.
That is impressive. Which reminds me, should I talk to the changelings about the war?
You very likely should.
Oh, pony feathers. That's going to be a fun conversation.
And then he takes out another potion, which is bright blue. And actually glowing.
And this one is also very useful, and we expect that it will be used a lot on the battlefield.
Oh?
Yes.
And he walks over to a little cage that has a chicken inside of it.
Just look at this.
And from out of nowhere, he pulls a gun.
Midnight.
Shooting the chicken.
Midnight covers her ears because of the bang. Maybe a bit of a warning next time?
The chicken is bleeding and flailing in its death throes in the cage.
So, can I eat the chicken now?
No, you can't.
And he pours a little bit of the potion over the wound, and a few seconds later the wound is closed and the chicken is looking at him very reproachfully.
That is going to be handy.
Doesn't work when the patient is dead, but light to medium wounds can be healed with it.
Huh. Not bad at all. Though if someone dies, technically we can still get them back through Elysium, so works pretty well.
Our orders up here are to work under the assumption that we do not have Miss Elysium's support.
Why?
If we count on her too much, imagine if she falls.
That's a good point.
That is why, up here, we assume that we do not have it.
That's... You know, this reminds me why Lupina is the person of the Wolf of War. She thinks of every contingency plan.
Our queen is very resourceful like that, yes.
And he nods to the scientists who are still working on their potions, and they completely ignore the group of you.
Well, good to know they're focused on their work.
They'd better be.
Why?
Right now they're trying to create something that is very dangerous.
What?
An acid.
An acid?
Yes.
Huh.
We have seen mention of it in the documents that Queen Lupina retrieved from the other dimension. But we have only part of the formula.
You know, it might not be possible to make it right now because some of the ingredients might be from other planets.
That is why we are experimenting.
Fair
According
enough.
to the documentation we have, it is 1,000,000 times more corrosive than the acid in one's stomach.
Ouch. Though, be extra careful. You guys are floating in space.
Don't worry, that is why this element of the space station can actually be detached.
Clever. You guys really do think of everything, don't you?
Almost. So may we continue?
Of course.
And he walks towards a door in the far side, on the far side of the room, with the other 4 scientists following him.
Midnight and Night follow.
One of the scientists barks something at him. The youngest one. And he just barks back at her in a tone that sounds kinda angry.
What was that about?
She was asking if I really think it is a good idea to show you the next room.
Why?
And you emerge into a giant room, like 300 feet in each direction. 20 feet up. And there are rows and rows and rows of cages in it.
What's in the cages?
Creatures.
What creatures?
All kinds of creatures.
Okay, Midnight raises an eyebrow. What's all this about?
These, and be glad that we soundproofed those cages, are prisoners.
Prisoners?
Yes.
Elaborate.
He points at a cage in which there is an Earth pony mare wearing a black armor with golden trim.
This one, for example, we caught as she was trying to infiltrate Canterlot.
Infiltrate Canterlot?
Our queen informed us of a dimensional disturbance, and our agents in the area caught her as she came out of a dimensional portal.
Midnight looks over at her. What are you doing here?
She can't hear you.
Do you know what she's doing here?
Our interrogation revealed that she was trying to find weak points in our defenses.
What dimension is she from? One controlled by a 5th?
Yes.
Crap baskets.
Then he points over at a cage that actually holds what you can only describe as a version of Chrysalis. The only reason you know it is not Chrysalis is because her hair is silver.
What about this one?
Also from a dimension that is controlled by a 5th, and she tried to take over the changeling swarm.
Huh. So all of these are interdimensional beings that have come from the 5th?
Spies, mostly.
Huh. Do you know if you've caught them all?
We at least hope so.
So what are you doing with them here?
First of all, it is safer to keep them here than where our military is the strongest.
Agreed.
Second of all, well, war treaties don't really apply up here.
Knight raises an eyebrow. Yeah, elaborate?
Treaties concerning the treatment of prisoners, I mean.
Midnight frowns. What makes you think that they don't apply up here?
Because in the treaties that I'm referring to, it is especially stated that prisoners on the ground of equus.
It actually stated that? Damn it. It's almost like they were deliberately giving you a loophole.
I think no one was expecting space travel back then.
I doubt people even believed in space travel.
However, that does leave us with options of interrogation that would not be allowed on equus.
I'm not going to say I approve, but I understand why. Wait, you do? Sure. War's horrible. There's no good side, technically. And although I will probably bring this up with Lupina, I, at the same time, understand that sometimes you have to commit crimes to, well, survive. Don't agree with it, though.
You hear a little bit of a metallic sound as if this metal is hitting on metal.
Turns around looking for the sound. What was that?
Nothing.
Tell me.
As you look around, you see one of the cages, moving. As if its inhabitant is throwing himself against the bars.
Walks over. What's going on in there?
You see a griffin in there, jumping against the bars, jumping against the ceiling of his cage, trying to break the thing with his wings plucked. No feathers on them.
Yeah. Can they break out of there?
Highly unlikely. These cages were designed for our dear queen's siblings.
Wait. So it could even contain me?
It would depend on a try, but I would wager yes.
Well, actually, the better question is, could it contain 2 of the 5?
If they are in separate cages, maybe.
Then it probably couldn't contain me because, well, if I knew how to control this power, because I have basically double what all 4 of them have combined. Wait, no, that's wrong. I have basically half of creation power, and the 4 of them have half altogether.
One of the scientists, a middle-aged male, chuckles.
What you chuckling at?
Nothing.
Must be funny if you're chuckling.
Nothing in particular.
Must be particular if you're chuckling.
He just looks away.
Night. Ignore him. Oh, come on, aren't you curious? Yes, but it doesn't really matter.
Shall we proceed?
Midnight nods. You do realize I'm still going to bring this up with Lupina, right?
This place is sanctioned by Her Highness.
I know. Doesn't mean I won't talk to her about it.
As is the next room that I am about to show you.
Okay.
And he walks through a door, and there's only a little walkway behind that door.
Midnight follows carefully, with Night behind her.
And on the walls of a giant room that goes several kilometers up and down, all you see are cages.
What is all this?
Those are the less high-profile prisoners.
How many have you caught?
Several thousand.
Of interdimensional beings?
Yes.
All of them trying to get here?
Yes.
All spies?
Not all of them.
And he points to a row of cages in which you see creatures that you have never seen before. They kind of look like humanoid spiders.
Yeah.
There were about 100 of them. 20 survived, and we captured all 20 of them.
And they are
a little advance force.
Attacks are already on their way. Seriously, how do they even know we're coming?
I don't think they do, but we are certainly on their radar.
How?
Did any interdimensional travels lately?
No.
He raises an eyebrow at you.
Well, unless the Overmother told them.
As soon as you started your dimensional travels, others became aware of us.
But come on, the script goes teleporting through dimensions before I started.
But that was only him. He leaves less of a trace.
And I brought all 5 to dimension.
Exactly. It was like a signal beacon for everyone. Ever since, our agencies intercept about 10 portals a day.
I'm sorry for the work.
You should not apologize to me. Apologize to the military. Because they are dealing with most of those threats.
Do you know if they're all from the same dimension or alternate?
It is hard to tell, really, because some of those speak languages that we do not understand.
So how do you know none of them are refugees?
We did try to talk to them, at first.
And then he points at the spider beings again.
Until they ate our emissary.
Fair enough. Though why would they be even on the 5th side? I thought the 5th destroyed the universe, not destroyed everything in its sight. Why would he rule?
You forget an important part, Miss Midnight. Something that you have already witnessed yourself. The fifths can corrupt.
True. He corrupted that Lupina. He corrupted all the others who went against, who followed her.
Exactly.
Turning
And
the Lupin and
these-
Karnai into just brute forces.
Some things that I actually do not agree with. At the treatment that my people were treated in that other dimension.
I would have honestly gone back and helped them if I could.
Now, there is, however, as if you were asking about refugees, were you not?
Yes.
This way.
Follows.
And he goes through a door at the other end of the walkway, leading you into a rather big room that is filled to the left and right of the little walkway that is in the middle with glass cells.
What's this?
In the cells you see ponies, griffins, changelings, humans, serpentine creatures,
Crabs?
all kinds. Crab people too. And crab people.
Clever.
And these rooms are all decorated the same, with one bed, one toilet, and a shower. And the creatures inside just sit there lethargically on their beds.
These are refugees? How many?
Or at least that is what they claim.
That's fair.
And that is the only reason why they are not back there or in the high security. They're treated a little bit better in here, more humane, until their cases have been investigated.
That's fair. Please
And
tell me
to
at least
answer-
Please tell me you keep families together.
He looks at you, raising an eyebrow.
What do you mean?
Well, parents and children?
I am very sorry, but we do have to separate them.
You separate the children?
Yes,
Why?
because it is easier to investigate their case if they are not constantly under watch by their parents.
Okay, admittedly I disagree with that, but please tell me keep them next to each other. Like next to the
No.
cages.
No.
Oh. Yeah, I disagree with that. Anyway, you were going to say?
Your question was how many there were.
Yeah.
We are currently in refugee block 64 of 1,500.
What?
And every block has 100 cells.
And are they all filled?
Yes,
Oh. Fur and claw. Drat. Okay, we got another problem.
just saying that we did have a few griffins, which cases we did actually investigate, and we cleared them. The Griffin Kingdom, however, didn't want to take him.
Why?
Their king said, and I quote, "Not my problem.
You're gonna have to repeat that.
Not my problem." That's what their king said.
Hello?
Ellie? Hello?
Hello? Oh, you're back.
I hear you, no problem. What's the problem here?
I don't know, but you just... It goes quiet. And it's like... That's it. I'm like... Shoot. Sorry.
What did you hear?
I just asked why, and then there was silence.
The Griffin King said, and I quote, "Not my problem."
I'm gonna have to go talk to the Griffins now. Knight, write that in my diary. Write it in yourself. I just mean remind me.
And he walks on through another door.
Follows.
You see rows upon rows of crops growing.
Nice.
This is our agricultural wing.
Huh. Me likey. Though, you guys don't exactly eat many vegetables. Is this mainly for the prisoners and for the refugees?
We can eat vegetables, and they're way easier to sustain than livestock.
Agreed there. I just remember walking into my sister's den for the first time, telling her what I ate, and her yelling at me for eating vegetables.
And in the middle of the whole thing, you see a table that has a big plate with a giant piece of steaming ham on it.
Ooh! Now that smells delicious.
Your mouth starts to water. And Knight actually starts to drool.
Looks at the wolves. Who's that for?
And suddenly you see the fat wolf from before huffing and puffing out of a stairway access that is at the side. Yes, it has taken her this long to get up the stairs.
Oh, poor thing.
And she growls at you. And the old wolf translates, saying,
She says, "Paws off my dinner."
Knight groans. And Midnight smiles sheepishly. Sorry. It's been a while since I've eaten.
And then this fat wolf barks something again. Which the old wolf does not translate, but he frowns.
Knight raises an eyebrow.
And the other scientists kind of snicker.
What did he say? She say?
It's not important.
Why do I have a feeling what they're saying every time you don't want to translate is something derogatory towards us?
And the young male steps forward and says, "Because exactly case."
Midnight frowns. Seriously?
And the youngest of the group kind of looks at you and swoons a little bit, saying, "Cute."
He's calling me cute?
And the old one barks at all of them.
Looks at the old wolf.
1 second.
Oh, okay.
My phone is going off.
Can you hear us now, Death? Please tell me you can. Hmm. Yep, you guys can hear us now. I don't know what's going on. Well, it's fun. I think Midnight's about to discover something. Because they're talking about us. And calling Midnight cute. Midnight does not like being called cute. What is happening? And AJ's gone, that's alright. Shall we see what's going on? What have you typed? Space prison. When have ever gone right those? Yeah. Oh, no, we weren't talking to someone else. We were talking to each other. Huh. Interesting. Okay, that makes more sense. I was worried there for a second. No, something keeps happening where visual sound for me just stops, and I don't know why. I'll have to check back on the actual recording to see if he's, like, if it's his is picking up and everything. You can't call Midnight adorable either. Not Ethan. Either. No. You're not allowed. You're not allowed at all. Midnight is Midnight. Midnight is Midnight. That is what she is. So none of that. None of that. So I hope you're enjoying it. Don't forget, guys, we have, because I'm going to do a shameless little plug here. We got Patreons. We've got Teespring store, Tea thingy store, where we show all lots of stuff. Lots of cool stuff. And it's awesome. But Midnight doesn't like it. Midnight doesn't like... She understands where it's coming from, but she doesn't like it. So she's going to have a little talk with Lupina. And be like, can you not torture people up there? I understand it's outside of those treaties, but that doesn't make it right. At all. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Also, I think me losing my glasses might have affected my eyes a bit. Damn it. I need to find out where my glasses have gone. Yes, Midnight wears glasses. I wear glasses, not Midnight. Ooh.
I'm back.
Hello, honey pie.
Well, it's just my dad calling me.
I guessed as much.
Sorry for the interruption, guys, but my dad has no concept of privacy there.
No.
And as you are looking at the young male, the fat one growls and barks something again, slightly snickering. And you understand only a few words. Those words being Berta, Lupina, feed, pet, and lunch.
Midnight frowns and turns to the old man. Translate that, please.
I would rather not.
Translate it.
Do I have to?
Yes.
He gulps and looks back and forth between the fat wolf and you. The other's gone completely silent.
Night is growling slightly under her breath. Tell me what she said.
She said that if it wasn't a favor to Berta, she would never have agreed to bring you up here, and that Lupina should better feed her pets lunch, so that they don't make big eyes at her dinner.
First off, favor to Berta? Second off, pet!
He shrinks back a little bit.
Are you telling me that that you all think I'm Lupina's pet?
I don't.
Really? What do you think of me then?
That you are a very nice and attractive young wolf.
Fine. And explain...
But I'm in the minorities here.
So the majority of the Lupin and Carni see me as a pet?
And the youngest of the group kind of nods at you.
First, I am not Lupina's pet. Never have been, never will be. Where on earth would you get an idea like that?
Well, we have ordered not to hurt you. And you always in her presence.
So?
Like a pet.
Lily is always in her presence. Okay, not always, but... And what do you mean in order to not hurt me? Are you saying you would?
Two of them just look away whistling.
Why would you hurt me?
Not actually hurt as much as, challenge your authority, maybe.
Why?
You are pony-born.
I'm not a true wolf because... And here I thought you guys were a little learning to be a little less prejudiced.
Excuse me, Miss Midnight, but many of us are less prejudiced.
Fair enough. Admittedly, I haven't had much experience outside of, well, a few wolves.
And have I not been courteous to you and treated you with respect?
You have, clearly. Not so much your friends. Looks back, glaring at them.
They glare back.
Knight takes a step forward towards the glaring wolves. And what do you think of me, then?
The youngest of the group, the chipper one, just looks at Knight and gives her a telekinetic shove.
Knight does the same back.
She repeats it.
Knight pushes harder. Speak with your words. Am I a pet?
Very cute.
Knight's jaw drops. What?
You very cute.
Knight gets down and growls at her. I am not cute.
And the young one chuckles, with the word cute under her breath.
Knight pounces.
The young one is surprised as the knight lands on her.
And great, my brain didn't think past this. I was expecting her to dodge.
Knight has been reading a certain guide.
Oh, point. The problem is I don't know this guide, so it's like, eh. Knight, I don't know, strikes at her? I don't know. And tries to pin her?
she strikes at her with her claws.
Yeah.
One of the other scientists shoves Knight off of that young one before she can do any damage.
Knight growls and goes to get up, but Midnight steps in her way. Enough, Knight. We get it.
And the old one actually steps up and says,
No, there's no need to get violent.
Midnight slightly smirks. Agreed.
And the fat one in the background just starts all out laughing.
Midnight looks at her, finally making a decision. Well, she saw how she's been thinking about how she should react in this situation. And if they think of her as a pet, then there's really only, she can't, act like a pet.
Just do what you want to do, love.
Okay.
No need to go meta.
I'm telling you what she's thinking. Fine. Partly because I don't want to be judged at the same time. And Midnight walks towards the fat pony, the fat wolf.
Who just smirks at you.
And with one blink, the wolf is thrown against a wall.
She impacts the wall and leaves a very huge indentation in it. Falling to the floor, unconscious.
Midnight turns to the younger wolves and simply says, "Anyone else want to laugh at me? Or Knight?"
They look at each other, and then the young male raises his paw.
"Yes, dear."
Was it really necessary?
Let me ask you this. Do you have a slightly different opinion of me?
And he nods.
Then yes. That was very necessary.
The young wolf raises her paw. Medic?
Go get one.
And she scampers off.
Midnight then turns to the older one. Apologies, I know you said no violence, but you understand I had to make a point.
He has by now moved over to that fat wolf and is poking her.
Walks over. Besides, as you so put it, she'll be awake in a few minutes.
Actually, I don't think so.
Oh?
He puts his ear on her muzzle.
She stopped breathing.
Midnight's eyes widen. What?
Listen for yourself if you don't believe me.
Don't worry, I trust you. Midnight puts her ear to the chest to try and hear a heartbeat.
You hear none.
Damn it!
And a moment later, the medic comes rushing in. A young female wolf that seems more hyper than Pinkie Pie, if that's even possible. shoving all of you aside as she attaches some electrodes to that wolf.
Frowns as Midnight stands back, slightly feeling more guilty by the second.
She then, like that fat wolf jerks a moment, then jerks again. The medic frowns, looks at the old one, barks a few things, takes up the fat one in her magic, and walks off.
She gonna be okay? Or did I just kill someone?
It depends.
On what?
If Medic has a good day.
It depends on whether you survive or not if the medic has a good day. That's not a good thing.
Hey, she's the only medic we have up here.
Okay. What'd she say?
She congratulated you.
On what?
You really want me to translate what she said?
Yes.
She has apparently never seen a such cleanly broken neck before.
I guess I can add that to my repertoire. Midnight
And she
shivers
also
a bit.
said that her father will likely not be very pleased because he will have to get that dent out of the wall.
Midnight waves a paw and the dent comes out.
Impressive.
Creation magic comes in handy.
Now, shall we proceed?
Midnight nods.
Before you kill someone else from my team?
I'll talk to Lithium if the worst happens.
And he walks through a door that leads into a long corridor. The other scientists stay behind.
Midnight mumbles to herself. Great. I've frightened them.
Are you leaving Knight behind?
No, Night's following. Grudgingly. But she nicks the steak.
The ham.
The ham.
The big piece of ham.
She takes it.
And the wolf just looks back at her and says,
Just don't throw that up all over the cabin when we go back.
No promises. But I'll certainly try, 'cause this is delicious.
Should be. Has been marinated for a week.
Definitely coming back here. Midnight, can you open me a portal to here every time I want to come up? No. No, not happening. Talk to script. What?
she'd have to be very nice to script for him to do that favor for her. Yeah. So he's leading you through that corridor. And you start to smell warm sand.
Why do I smell warm sand?
We are approaching the last stop of our tour.
He doesn't say anything more.
Follows. Looking around.
You see nothing but the white metal walls of the corridor.
So what is this last room?
I am very sorry, but it is more than my life's worth to tell you.
What's that supposed to mean?
That means I'm not allowed to tell you.
But you're going to show me.
Yes.
So you're not allowed to tell me, but you're allowed to show me. Or is it that you're not allowed to tell me and you've worked around it by showing me?
Neither.
Oh, okay.
And he walks up to a door.
Hmm.
Bows and gestures for you to go through it.
Goes through the door. With Night?
No, without her.
Okay, goes through the door.
You find yourself in the middle of a giant coliseum.
Oh, wow.
With cameras pointed at the arena, from every angle.
What's going on?
And on the other end of the arena sits Berta, cleaning herself with her tongue.
Berta? What's going on?
Oh, hey there. And she keeps licking herself.
Hey, why are we in an arena with cameras?
I thought it might be a good idea to, have your final exam broadcasted all over the Empire.
Final exam?
Mm-hmm.
Broadcasted? Wait, is this what he meant by favor to Bertha?
First of all, my name is Berta, not Bertha. That was my mom.
Sorry. Slip of the tongue. This is what he meant by favor to Berta?
Yes. And no.
Why?
Well, my dear Midnight, you are currently in a very high security Lupine Arcane facility.
Yeah?
Not many know it even exists.
That would make sense.
That means I had to pull some strings to even get you up here.
But why? Why go to all this length?
Because... And she stands up, giving her flank one last lick. Up here, I don't have to hold back.
You sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure if you wanted to destroy this place, you could.
Just try to get back through that door.
You know I could just teleport, right?
Try. You're my guest.
Tries to teleport tonight.
And you get as far as the outer edge of the arena, and then feel as if you're running into a glass wall.
Huh. Magic inhibitor stuff?
No, just a teleport inhibitor.
Yeah, basically what I meant.
Can't teleport out of here.
Can I teleport a bite, though?
Yes.
Okay, final exam means I have to basically get out of that door.
No.
No?
She pulls herself up to a full height. And out of a bag that sits next to her, she starts putting on combat armor.
Hmm?
Your final exam is to defeat me.
What?
I think you heard me right.
Am I... Wait, if you're at full strength, am I at full strength?
No rules are set. This is a life or death combat situation.
I don't want to kill you.
You don't have to.
Okay. Just injure you enough that you can't attack anymore?
That would be sufficient, yes.
Okay. Though I did, Okay.
And she looks at you. Both of her eyes turning slit-like. Any last words for your pups?
I'm grounding one of them later.
Who and why?
You'll find out later.
Anyhow, Berta disappears.
Midnight looks around cautiously.
And as you're looking around, you get hit in the face from your left. Tumbling through the sand.
Teleports to the other side of the arena. Damn it. Can't see you. Gotcha.
And then get hit from the right. She is not invisible.
She's moving fast. Turns the sand to ice.
That's mean. But very clever. You see an impact in the wall as Berta slides off the ice and hits the wall.
Admittedly, that was fun.
She gets up and sits down for a moment, shaking her head.
Midnight slightly smirks and drops a small house on her.
Berta sees the shadow of the house and immediately jumps at the wall of the arena backwards and propels herself with all of her might towards you.
Turns to dust.
You do realize that the dust is now on the ice, which will make the dust wet.
Oh.
But okay. Berta flies over you, lands on the ice, but this time uses her claws to stop herself.
Turns back into Midnight, but is wet.
You're drenched. And Berta uses her claws to propel herself over the ice. She kind of uses them as spikes now.
Turns the ice back to sand. And
She keeps running.
yeah, I guess that part. And jumps into the air.
She jumps after you, doing a roll so that her tail hits you in the face.
Okay.
Like a whip.
Causing me to spin, probably. Slightly. Sorry, I know I'm slow. Again. Ooh, I know. Traps are in ice.
The ice block with Berta inside falls to the ground and shatters. She stands up, shakes herself, and glares at you. As you are slowly descending towards the ground as well. And she just waits down there for you with her jaws open.
Teleports to the other side of the arena.
You feel something biting your tail. Hard.
Flings it into a wall. Flings Berta into a wall. Again and again and again and again and again. Hulk style.
You feel as she lets go and instead bites your side.
Turns to sand.
Interesting. Because now part of you is in her mouth.
Ew. Wait, how do I fix that? Teleports away? To the other side? Again? All of me?
Our dear Berta grabs onto the belt of her uniform, of her combat armor, and takes one of 3 bottles that are hanging there. And she takes a little swig of the liquid that is inside. And then starts just prowling around the little pile of sand that is you.
How can she tell me apart from everything else?
Because you teleported. She knows where you teleported.
Of course she does. What did she drink?
She just took something into her mouth. She didn't actually swallow.
Oh no. That's not a good idea. Teleports her to the other side of the arena?
And she immediately teleports back to where she was.
Teleports her and myself to different spots in the arena?
She teleports right on top of you. And then spits the oily liquid that she has in her mouth on you.
Teleports to the other side and reforms. Ew, what was that?
She just smirks at you.
Tell me.
And you feel yourself getting a little weak.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Basilisk poison.
But didn't you drink some of it, even with having it in your mouth? You would have absorbed some of it.
And she shows a little flask that is empty. Have the antidote.
Clever. But you said no rules, so teleport some basilisk venom antidote into my paw.
As I said, the flask is empty.
I never said from the flask.
You can't teleport anything from outside inside or yourself outside.
Seriously? Damn it. Fine.
There's a teleport inhibitor.
Fine, I create basilisk venom antidote.
And in the blink of an eye, Berta is in front of you.
Okay. Kisses her cheek.
She bites your shoulder.
Oh, I thought that would distract her, but okay. Bites her shoulder.
You literally bite onto metal. Remember, she wears combat armor.
I know. Still. Slams her into a wall.
You're not Hulk.
What? This would hurt me too.
She emerges from the wall, pouncing at you.
Rolls away. Duck rolls away. Or, as in, I avoid it. And... Wait, I remember something you told me. What was it one of the pups did? One of the pups did.
All of the pups did. Which pup do you refer to?
Bertha. Why do I keep calling her Bertha? Berta concentrates on her magical sense. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Midnight fills the entire arena with smoke of her magical essence.
Berta lands and looks around confused.
Midnight pounces on her, ripping the armor off, and then disappears back into the smoke.
Before you can disappear, Berta actually manages to land a swing on your side, hurting your barrel with her claws.
My barrel?
Your flank.
Okay. My butt.
Actually, I was going more like ribs, height.
Oh, side. Yeah. Gotcha. Midnight grimaces before summoning, before making the sand into spikes below her.
You suddenly feel spikes under your paws.
I said below her, not me.
You said Midnight does that and that, creates spikes under her.
I meant under Bertha.
Berta.
Sorry. Berta.
You hear her yelp.
You glitched.
You hear her yelp.